Hi, I'm John, a librarian at Pearl River Public Library, and I'm coming to you from PRPL from home with another episode of Reset with Poetry. Today is a little Billy Collins sampler. You may know Billy Collins. He was a poet laureate of the United States a while back. His poetry is published widely, and a lot of it is available through the library, both in print and on downloadable formats, so you can check that out on the library website. The first poem I'm going to read is a poem that's one of those poems that has a title that is never mentioned in the poem. It's all about implications. The poem is called The Hangover, which I trust none of you have ever had. I've never had one myself. But I'm told that people with hangovers have a tendency to get headaches, are highly sensitive to sound and noise and too much light. So this is a poem called The Hangover, in which a hangover is never mentioned. If I were crowned emperor this morning, every child who is playing Marco Polo in the swimming pool of this motel, shouting the name Marco Polo back and forth, Marco Polo, Marco Polo, would be required to read a biography of Marco Polo, a long one with fine print, as well as a history of China and Venice, the birthplace of the venerated explorer Marco Polo, Marco Polo, after which every child would be quizzed by me, then executed by drowning, regardless of how much they managed to retain about the glorious life and times of Marco Polo, Marco Polo. The Hangover by Billy Collins, in which you might think he's a really unfriendly guy, but he's not. I think he's just goofing around. And as proof of that, the next poem I'm going to read is a poem called On Turning 10, also by Billy Collins, from a book called The Art of Drowning. If you have a child who is about to turn 10 or have had one that has turned 10, you might want to get a box of tissues. I find it to be a very moving poem. So, On Turning 10 by Billy Collins. On Turning 10. The whole idea of it makes me feel like I'm coming down with something. Something worse than any stomach ache or the headaches I get from reading in bad light. A kind of measles of the spirit, a mumps of the psyche, a disfiguring chicken pox of the soul. You tell me it's too early to be looking back, but that is because you've forgotten the perfect simplicity of being one, and the beautiful complexity introduced by two. But I can lie on my bed and remember every digit. At 4, I was an Arabian wizard. I could make myself invisible by drinking a glass of milk in a certain way. At 7, I was a soldier. At 9, a prince. But now, I am mostly at the window watching the late afternoon light. Back then, it never fell so solemnly against the side of my treehouse. And my bicycle never leaned against the garage as it does today, all the dark blue speed drained out of it. This is the beginning of sadness, I say to myself as I walk through the universe in my sneakers. It is time to say goodbye to my imaginary friends. Time to turn the first big number. It seems only yesterday I used to believe there was nothing under my skin but light. If you cut me, I would shine. But now when I fall upon the sidewalks of life, I skin my knees. I bleed. On Turning 10 by Billy Collins. And one of my favorite quotes about Billy Collins is he puts the fun back in profundity. And that's certainly true. His poetry is really accessible, but also deals with a lot of the more profound issues in life, and often in a kind of lighthearted way. Anyway, I hope you get to read more Billy Collins, and as I said, it's available at the library. The library will soon be having more curbside service, and until then, you can check out our website and find lots of great books and other digital resources there. See you in the next episode of Reset with Poetry.